Hey, it's Rita and Scott. We're here with the Cosmic Dialog again. Rita, tell us what we're going to talk about.
We are going to talk about how when we are devoted to a purpose, that can really fuel our action in a way that makes us thrive. And so when we cannot come to an agreement on the purpose, rather than fighting the purpose that others have designed for us, we just focus on the purpose that we can agree within ourselves and create.
So kind of like an example. Let's just give me in one of my vocations an example. As a delivery person who delivers food, I can be hung up in like how unjust like their pricing model is, and I'm doing this, and I'm the way that they give out batches of groceries or their pay is not as just, it's not in alignment of how just I feel it is. But yet I can actually move to think of it as like a mission of giving, because that really feels in alignment to what I do and why I do it. It's more of a mission of giving to other humans and other people. And I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. And then the pace, it seems to be an effect of that mission.
And the people who receive those items feel it.
They feel that from me. You know, and yeah, regardless. And even if they don't, I feel that. So I begin to feel a connection, or at least a purposeful mission in something simple. That could be an example, perhaps.
Yeah.
So maybe if we were to go to a spot where more and more people were choosing their own purpose, or just with us, we chose our own purpose. Let's not worry about the rest of the world.
Right.
The rest of the world can catch up. The rest of the world can see what we're doing, and we can affect that. So once we stepped into the purpose that we created, what happened? What happened after that?
Yeah. So when we did that, I remember back when we did that, it was almost September of 2020. And we understood the energy that could be generated from just being devoted to a purpose that we fully agreed with. And so we became really sensitive to every time we were kind of driven off course by something that was outside of our purposes, because we had, multiple purposes, but they all connected to the one purpose of really being devoted to developing ourselves and our souls. If our other purposes didn't feed that purpose, then we became really sensitive to anything that was not aligned with that. So that changed our actions quite substantially. Do you remember what you did?
I remember just how much it was fun. Right in that moment, I really realized how I could really just, I could actually turn off the news, and it was like that external world went away, and like another real world came in.
Uh-huh.
I turned off the news. I turned off the radio. I turned off parts of social media. I just decided, okay, I'm not in agreement with all of this. Let's experiment and see what comes in. And then while I'm delivering food or while I'm assisting somebody else with like another project they're putting out on either the web or with a book or with a CD or whatever, I new ideas, new ways of being. I without all of that static, there was a lot more time in the day. Oh, I created time. We know you and I create time anyway. Um, and I just, what was really changing for me was how much I realized that I wasn't paying attention to the natural world, the real messages from God,
You hadn't been before?
not as much as I could have been.
Mm-hmm.
So I had been, but I had been um, just subjected to just this level. It was like going through another level. Like, oh, I don't have to like accept this purpose of whatever label society's put on me, whatever label I've internalized. I don't have to accept this purpose of like, let's say, I'm pretty much an independent, politically independent, and I don't have to accept that during this time to create even a spin or a turmoil in me at all. I don't have to expect, it goes back to that role. I don't have to take the role on any longer. I can still have my beliefs, but I can step into another agreement of purpose for myself. I may believe this, and so my purpose is not to be attached to the external drama making machine. So when that started happening, when I started really digging into my purpose outside of that, it was like people started coming to me. It was almost like my empathy for the world just attracted other people to me. It created other opportunities for me to really, well, test, say, well, is this really your purpose, Scott? Or to say, okay, now that you know this is what you're really doing, here's step 2 that just is placed right in front of you. Are you ready for that, or are you not ready for that?
And given that you agree with this, here's what the outcome is going to be. Are you sure you agree with this purpose?
Yeah, all the walls of fear have to come down too. So I'm even thankful and grateful for another challenge that comes through to test my dedication. It's almost a gratitude feeling. Oh, now I get to test my dedication to this and see what happens during that,
Yeah.
and hopefully possibly on the other side of it.
And it was so amazing to watch what got created so easily when we're just devoted to a purpose that we fully agree with. And that, even just saying that, it was kind of a buzzy, coachy thing to say things like that back then. But no one really understood it fully. Like, many people did have a like a tunnel vision towards a certain purpose with their business or their life purpose, but would still get derailed to trying to convince others of their political point of view or something like that. But to do it in every facet of life, that was new, and it freed up so much room to create, to let yourselves have a purpose, let yourselves have a purpose, and we just get in the way of it. But to just let yourselves do what they're devoted to doing, which is being healthy and regenerating constantly, it was astounding. And really we started seeing and feeling changes in our physical being, our bodies, pretty quickly when we consolidated our purposes.
I remember when there were certain reactions I had that reminded me, oh, this is okay, Scott, you're putting a toe back into that other realm where you are not necessarily in agreement with this purpose, but you're starting to bring it in.
Which is what our bodies are here for. To be that signal.
And then it was a signal. And so I had to normally I don't adhere to like fragmenting oneself, but I sort of sent the Scott off in a little boat over there. It's like, okay, Scott, this person Scott can be in the boat over there with all of that, but I am going to continue. And so that kind of gave me permission. And then I couldn't actually, like, I wouldn't have to go through that, but I just allowed that one portion of Scott to drift out on a boat.
And then he was like, come save me.
Help me, come back. So I didn't have to go through that. And then I understood too that, like, I saw other people in my environment somehow, some having instances of like just being in their own purpose, and not having to go through the dramas of the day, and just witnessing other people just automatically saying, yeah, I understand what's going on in the whole geopolitical mess, but my life right now is this moment, and I'll never have this moment again. So I am fully dedicated to it.
And really, my soul is not going to be affected by the geopolitical events. My soul is going to be the condition that it is and continue to grow and expand and be filled with divine love. So what does that event that was coming up at that time, what's it matter?
And even if we do have empathy and love and feelings that come up with these certain events that happen, it's just that our soul is still progressing. This is a natural aspect of our soul, having feelings and empathy and love, and but yet we still understand that as souls, we can still progress through that.
Mm-hmm.
We are still able to be, you had said this long ago, be the light that we are. I mean, it's not even like, it's being the light that we are.
And being beautifully acceptable
Right.
at that brightness.
Yes. And so that's what our soul's mission is. I believe eventually our soul's mission will just be to be as beautiful as we know we are, because God and the universe and all forces of truth and love made us this way and have loved us this way. So as we keep going on with the purposes that we agree with those life purposes, those soul purposes, we realize that we just come to an end, probably logically, that our purpose is to be love, to be that love and light.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the new agey way, but our purpose is to understand that we always will be and have been and are that love and brightness that was created and loved by our Creator.
And we can continue to be perfected in that love right now in this life, not waiting for some other lifetime to sort it out.
Oh,
But it's all about right now.
and we recognize those other people in those moments now. We can see immediately the folks that are present in their light, because maybe there is so much darkness. Now it's easier for us to see that.
Yeah.
We've accepted our own light. It's like we've opened up a new dimension. We're like, oh, I see that.
Well, we had physical emblems, apparati.
Yeah.
To just say, here I am not accepting my brightness at all. And others who at least were accepting some portion of their brightness. And then we got to feel through the frustration and sadness for those who were covering themselves to that degree, just openly, willingly. So sad.
Yeah. And how easy it was to. There's the difference between love and empathy, but how easy it is to be, to really get sucked into another person's denial of their brightness.
Yeah.
We step over and feel like that's how we can be empathetic by stepping into, our friend Vivian said this, stepping into their leaky boat as a symbol of empathy, but that isn't
Bail.
right.
Yeah.
That's not what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a temptation.
Yeah.
To feel so much empathy and feel that you're doing out of love, that you step into someone else's environment of closing off light. I'll dim my light so that you can see me better, and that you can feel better because I've dimmed my light. That doesn't work anymore.
Unless they're truly sincere about wanting to know what their own light is, then it's loving to dim your light enough that they can be in your presence.
And that's different than stepping into their leaking boat.
Yes, they have to step out of a leaky boat or just leap into the water with faith.
Right. It does take an actionable leap.
Yes.
Something from faith.
Mm-hmm. And courage.
Courage.
Yeah,
faith. But we can't come into other people's fear. Like, come back into my fear so I can feel good.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Don't you feel this collective fear? Can you be with me? I'm so alone. I'm so this, but I feel this fear. And then what happens if you just step out and take a leap? Your fear is still there. leap away from leap.
Mm-hmm.
Find the brightness in your soul. And I know that sounds trite, but
Mm-hmm.
and the world is not going to reward me in its worldly ways for saying things like that.
Yeah. You have to experience it to understand.
Right.
And then there was the weird judgment that came our direction for having a different purpose than most, for knowing how acceptable we are in the eyes of God, for having a purpose of wanting to receive more love in our souls and develop more. Not because we're better than,
Right.
or that we've arrived to anywhere. It's just the purpose, the devotion to that purpose makes us beautifully acceptable, no matter where we are.
Right. It is easier and easier to not be affected by the judgments of the world, of these worldly dramas.
Mm-hmm.
And if we recognize the judgment upon us because we're embracing the light that we are, if we recognize that, oh, this judgment is part of that worldly earth drama playing itself out on us,
Yeah.
then we just feel gratitude that, oh, someone is seeing us in this lightness, and it's bringing up feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's causing a turbulence.
The turbulence is evidence.
It's evidence. And they may feel like that what they're going through is pain to cause the judgment.
Or superiority.
Right.
Doesn't feel like pain, but is related to pain.
It feels like fear, uncomfortability. And that can be a choice you have when you feel like a little more stripped away from an earthly presence. If you aren't willing to look at your own soul, you might feel that instead of wonderment, curiosity,
Right.
surprise.
And those were much easier for us to feel
Right.
before we got focused on our purpose. That was fun.
Oh my gosh.
In the midst of all the chaos.
Yeah. In the midst of all the chaos, we had such, I've said it before, I'll say it so many times. There were so many positive days, weeks through the chaos of the world that was going on back then. I even lost my dog in the physical world, but there were still moments of clarity and peace and elation.
Yeah.
Through all of that, where I believed in my own light and my own worthiness, and in that everything was beautiful as it was.
Yeah.
And that if I could feel that, then maybe I could be that perfection that God sees me as.
But Scott, the thing that happened, it was not beautiful. That thing that happened in the world.
Well, I know.
That was beautiful.
That must have raised a lot of turbulence for you.
Yikes.
It's
Yeah.
happy to feel that your feelings. Thank you for sharing your feelings. That's all I do now. Thank you for sharing how that felt to you.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you feel?
Yeah.
I know that's the other thing too, is I'm not afraid to inquire more about feelings. I recognize, okay, they're just expressing a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they're doing, expressing a feeling. What else are you feeling? I might go, I'm really tired of all of this. I want to be doing this and this and this and this. And then like, what else are you feeling? I feel like I'm just this really positive person of God. And yet I'm like, twisting and turning, trying to like adapt myself to this crazy world.
And then we just kept reducing people to tears.
What else are you feeling with that? I know that God really loves me and he has a purpose for me, or the universe is like putting me in situations where I can do good. What else are you feeling?
And so maybe it was beautiful because now you're feeling your own beauty, which is what God is always driving us to do and feel.
Right. Right. And throughout this time, it's like you recognize too that other people's feelings on it. They are theirs. They're not ours. And so it's okay.
Or our responsibility.
Or our responsibility. So it's okay if we want to engage, we can just acknowledge their feeling. I hear that. I hear how you're feeling. What else?
Yeah. What a great question. What else are you feeling?
And not as a martyr kind of thing to place it on me, but just as um, let's get into what your soul is feeling. I want to just dive in.
Or yeah, just an invitation. Will you?
Yeah.
Will you feel? Will you feel a little more?
Yeah. And if you cry, I'll reach out because I know what it's like to cry.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what was possible now that wasn't really possible before.
And now it's becoming evident that what we were doing by not engaging was actually a very active choice towards creating
Yes.
rather than protesting or arguing or any other thing that was the norm at the time. Now it's really evident how much impact that has.
Just to like seek one's own soul in the quiet, like quietly seek your own soul is one of the most probably like profoundly active things that we've ever done.
Well said. Yeah.
To detach from all of the noise that's created because call it predation or the
In order to detach you from your soul and your
yeah
true purpose.
yeah
That's why it's created.
and I think sometimes it's also created to keep others comfortable in perpetuating their own not seeking of their soul.
Not looking at themselves.
Yeah.
Not, yeah.
It's
Not,
a perpetuation of that. Those things are created, whether it's malicious or it's whether it has malicious intent.
mhm.
I won't go there to judge or not anymore.
Primarily unconscious. Just
Yeah, it's
yeah.
an unconscious conditioned response almost now.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, imagine this is pretty tough work to quietly go within enough to
Choose
see.
a different reality.
Yeah, and it is choosing a different reality.
Talk about jumping out of the boat with faith.
Yes, it is a total jump. Can't kid anyone.
This boat is leaking. I'm out of here.
It's sinking.
Seems like an easy choice.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Faith, the life jacket,
oh,
or the life raft.
or the life spaceship. It's whatever you want that to be.
Right.
You know, the life buoy from far and far away to
Mhm.
reach you.
The
Um,
dolphin puts
yeah,
you on their back.
yeah. And even myself, I've had like situations like that in the real world, the real waking world. You know, been tossed out of a boat a couple times, and each time there's been a high school champion swimmer one time and a college swimmer another time who came out to in no time
Yeah.
there. So it's you recognize that there are others of us
Sure. How interesting.
who have lights that are always there.
I've been almost run over by a boat twice.
Oh,
Just, yeah, just by freak redirection at the last second.
yep.
Here I am.
And you don't have any malice still collected from that boat.
No.
I hate boats because they almost hit me. No.
Dixie and Bob. Ooh.
No, you love the situation because that boat was diverted
Mm-hmm.
when it needed to be diverted.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, let's go skiing. I'm ready
Yeah.
now
Okay.
because I was skiing the 2 times. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, well, I didn't die. Let's go.
Yeah. Where's the evidence that the world is changing? Well, you're right here.
Hmm.
You're here.
Yeah.
Where's the evidence that there's love in this world? Right here.
And if you don't see any right in front of you, go make some. How's that for a choice?
Yeah. Or or just pretend for a while that someone's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really they are.
Yeah. Ah, some of the best healing is when they're there, but they're not.
Yeah. Because they really are.
Yeah. By the way, Dixie and Bob, no big deal. I'm all right.
Good. I always like these. We have no idea where the conversation is going. But it ends up some really wild, magical places.
I hope they just felt that forgiveness.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
so much else, but that was good.
Good, good. People will go on and have their own conversations in their minds. And
Right.
that's what we want.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.